Welcome back to A Conversation with Music, the show where I try to figure out what it really means to be a musician. I'm David Oriana. To my right is Michael Treadway. Introduce yourself to us.
Hello, my name is Michael Treadway. I'm from Keller, Texas. I play trombone. I started when I was in, I think, sixth grade. And my dad really influenced me to pick trombone, and that's probably why I started playing, is because my dad and my grandpa, music was a big part of their lives, and my dad quit when he was young, like first year of college, so it made me kind of like wanna stick with it and be better at that age. And but yeah, I went to Keller High School, graduated last year. I'm 19. I got accepted to Juilliard. I study under Joe Alessi. He's the principal trombone for the New York Philharmonic. And I go there now. But
I mean, just tell us your experience about that. Like, not many people can say, "Hey, I go to that school just so casually," you know?
Yeah, it was very. I wasn't surprised that I got in, but I also wasn't like, oh, I deserved it. Like I have so much imposter syndrome going into the school. Like it's probably the most humbling experience to go to that school, because you get there and it's just like a school full of just like Max Brinkmeyers, or just like
I mean, people who enjoy playing their instrument.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's people that you don't even expect like music, and you start talking to them and they're just like you, and they're chill, and then you play some video games with them, and then all of a sudden you bring up music, and we're just yapping for an hour about it, and they're just geeked out about it, and it's great to be surrounded by people like that. But everybody there is super good, and it's very humbling. Like, confidence killed, because it's kind of like you feel lost. Like you don't know where you stand in the school. Everybody is so freaking good, and it's just so much different than high school. Yeah.
I mean, even then, like, it's a great opportunity to just learn and grow, right? For sure.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely a big growing and learning experience. But usually, when you're learning, usually the best way you learn is you don't really like it. You know, like you get put in these uncomfortable situations, and you just have to fight through it and deal with all the stress, all the assignments. And once you like work for it a lot and just keep going and not giving up, it really pays off. Like, all my classes, they're probably the hardest classes I've taken, even in high school. Like ear training, oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's probably the hardest class there, and but after, like, you don't notice you're becoming a better musician, but you come back home and you talk to people and you hang out with people, and you're like, wow, I know that, I know this. Yeah, like, you recognize things in music, and you're just like, wow, everything's just so much clearer. It's like you're wearing glasses, you know?
I mean, tell us about, like, a little bit of the day-to-day life. I mean, you know, people go there, like, they're obviously, like, well on their instrument, but, like, you know, even then, like, how did you, like, start to learn, you know, over time, not only in, like, now Juilliard, but also, like, in high school? How did you learn, you know, develop, you know, your experience throughout those years?
In high school, it was a very big development, I guess. A very big arc, I like to say. And you have to make a lot of mistakes to learn, and there were a lot of mistakes made, and I mean, that's how you learn. But, you know, in high school, it was very competitive for me. I was really just competitive. I was only feeling competition. I was only wanting to be the best. That's all I wanted to be. But that's not what it's about, you know. Like, after going to Juilliard, everybody's the best. Like, you don't strive to be the best. Everyone's really good, and they all have these different things about their playing that make them they have these different parts about their playing that, like, let's say articulation, or just the way their vibrato, little details, and it's inspiring to listen to them play and stuff, and incorporate in your own playing. You're always learning more, but that sense of being the best in the studio or the worst in the studio, it's not there. Everybody's equal level, or everybody's better than you. I mean, that's just how it is. But the day-to-day life in Juilliard, it's actually, you get a lot of free time, but it's not that much free time, because you're either working on a lot of assignments, like mean, I could name all the stuff I was going, like ear training homework, music theory homework. I was in a brass quintet. I was in trombone choir, low brass class. We get Joe Alessi picks a piece, and we have to learn it as a section before the class and rehearse, and then we have a class and we just play excerpts out of the whole piece. Like we did like Mahler 9, I think, or it was Mahler 9 and Fountains of Rome. We did that too. It was really fun. And he critiques you, and you know, that's that. And then there's also Juilliard Orchestra. You can get put in cycles on that. It's not like university where there's like a wind ensemble and symphonic band. There's no wind band at Juilliard. There's no wind band. There's the Juilliard Wind Orchestra, but that's no strings, all wind instruments. But there's not saxophone or baritone. It's actually funny. The baritone players are the trombone players. We play the like whenever there's a baritone or euphonium part, we have to play that, or bass trumpet and stuff. It's kind of funny. It's not a major there, but yeah, I got that, you know. And then there's lessons, super stressful, because it's kind of interesting having a different teacher. I mean, I love my old teacher, she was amazing, and she got me where I got here today, but there's something about Joe, he knows what's wrong with your playing right when you play, and he just, little details, he tells you everything that's wrong, blunt, straightforward, and having that as a teacher is kind of eye-opening. But yeah, the life there, everybody's stressed. Everybody's really, really stressed. I've been the most stressed I've ever been going there, but it has paid off. It's going to pay off, and you just gotta keep working for it.
All right. Well, I say let's get some questions rolling, and find a rhythm. All right. So, you know, we're gonna try to find out today how, you know, musicianship, what's your definition of it, what's your take on it, but let's start like a little smaller first, right? So, you know, when you were presented with the idea of dynamics and all this extra like emotion, like around like middle school, how has your idea just changed and shifted, you know, throughout experiences and over time?
How it developed? In middle school, it was, I didn't really know what to focus on. It was kind of abstract, because music is not a linear path, you know, it's an art form, you have to just figure it out. You gotta learn from better people. But in middle school, I was really just focused on having a good tone. I mean, my dad, my dad helped me a lot with my tone development, and I think that was one of my strong spots in playing. But I mean, there's tons of others that weren't good there, you know, articulation, couldn't slur, couldn't tongue right, couldn't do anything. But as I've started listening to more music, it's just connected me more with the art form. Like, it's like, as I say a lot, it's like a baby learning to talk. You know, how you get better is you listen to better people than you, or you listen to the adults in the room. That's what the babies learn to talk. And I didn't really find that love for music until I got to high school. Because in middle school it was just a fun little thing I was doing, you know. I was just, and then it started becoming like, I was like, I'm good at this now. I'm progressing. Then when I got to high school, worst in the school, you know, very, very beginning of high school. I mean, I same thing, kind of just a reset, same as college, but and I just learned things from the people older than me, and even in my grade, like all of them have great playing habits, and I blame a lot of my development just listening to the great trombone players and orchestras, and just understanding the idea of what they're trying to convince, and just listening to that, you can get your own ideas and make your own interpretation on things, like, I mean, dynamics and all of that stuff. It should come very naturally to you, like you're talking, you know. Right. And I do agree that you should have a plan for what you're gonna do with what you play, but there is, like, if you have everything planned, then it's not an art form. I mean, you don't have that free, like, what's it called?
Like free will?
Like
free liberty to
you don't. Yeah, I mean, you should have a plan, but you should also leave some space for what is it called? It's called what is it? It's called musical risk. That's what it's called, and that's what separates you from other people. Is that people can tell that you're taking a risk in music. That's what makes music. That's what makes music good. Is I wouldn't say the risk, but just improvising those ideas. Not to be too impulsive. I mean, I've dealt with a little bit of that, and I become kind of impulsive when I play and change things. But sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You just have to record yourself and learn how to make it sound better. And a lot of that's getting the right ears so you can hear yourself and know what's wrong and what's right and what sounds good and what doesn't. And usually people don't have those ears in high school, and even in college sometimes. You get those by being around better people. They critique you, and just being critiqued and being given musical feedback and such. It helps your ears. It makes you become your own teacher, because that's the end goal, is to become your own teacher, is to self-adjudicate yourself, so you don't have to take lessons with people. I mean, of course, you always have to take lessons with people. That's like, you have to take lessons with the pros. I mean, that's how you get better, because they're the pros for a reason. But in doing that, you gain a sense of hearing on your playing, and it definitely evolves over time.
Yeah. When you just trying to focus in on what musical risk is, right? Would you say, like, for example, last time I was talking with Ethan, we were talking about how there were some set structures on how you should play some things, like sometimes, right? Where sometimes, being that artist, you kind of have to like draw or like color inside the lines for a second.
Yeah.
Would you say that musical risk also kind of like pushes those boundaries or changes a few things, or what do you just like elaborate on what it means?
I would say, in that analogy, when say you're coloring a picture and you make the plan before pushing the boundaries, I would say you stay within the boundaries. You're using different colors in the picture and changing what it looks like, but not changing the shape of the music and how it is. Like my first performance at Juilliard was my studio recital, and I had to play Piece Concertante by Samuel Rousseau. And the day of the performance, it was a sound check, and I was in Morse Hall and I was playing the end, and Joe Alessi was there listening to me and critiquing some of it. But it was the day of the performance, probably like 30 minutes before, and Joe was like, "Michael, that last F, you're gonna take that up." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna take that up." And I was just like, he's like, "I don't care if you can do it, just you're gonna do it." And I'm like, "Okay." So then it's a really high note. It's high F. I forgot what F4 maybe, I don't know. But yeah, and I did it on the spot, and it worked. It sounded good. I hit it, but that's kind of the things I wouldn't. But when you're playing, you can play with dynamics and like when you see a crescendo, Joe always says it means decrescendo, not or start quieter. You have to. It's kind of the opposites, and you can always play with phrasing and stuff all the time, especially if it's not marked. It's just you can always tell the phrase of a line by the appoggiaturas and that stuff.
All right. Next question. So, we're getting into how musicianship, how kind of like evolves. You can like learn it, but do you think you could teach it directly, or do you think it's something that you just kind of gain over time? How like you were saying, like with your ear training or like just being your own teacher, sometimes you can't sit down with the lessons and just be like, "Hey, teach me how to be a teacher," right? Do you think, same thing with musicianship, being able to put emotion into like music and notes and phrasing, can that be taught directly, or do you think it just kind of over time?
I don't think it could be taught. I mean, you can be encouraged. Of course, that's what teachers are there for. But I think how you gain that emotional connection to music is really just the story behind it. I mean, there's so many composers with amazing stories behind their works, and most people don't even know what those stories are. They just listen. And like when I was little, I'd listen to orchestra music and I'd be like, "What's going on?" Like, "Oh, that's some low brass. It sounds cool," but
like, what does it mean?
Yeah, and I think from a young age, I think if like the Suzuki method, that's a good method, and it's literally just encouraging them to be creative. Like listening to Pines of Rome, my dad would always be like, "What do you hear going on? What do you think's happening?" And I would think, listen to the music and be like, "I hear a rose sprouting from the ground," and it really sounded like that, and I think that sparked the creativity among that. But having that emotional connection with music is probably the most important thing. Like you have to, but you can't really, you can learn it, but I would say go to orchestra concerts and just read about the piece, and like there's so many beautiful stories, like so many interpretations. You can write your own story for it, and it's
I mean, it's just like, it's a shame that, you know, sometimes when people talk about music and classical music, they just mix it in with like modern day music, which is like a little, I mean, I'd understand why, but it's just like there's a purpose. I'm not saying there isn't in modern music, but there's just a difference, right? Of like, just take a few seconds to like read whatever caption of this clip, whatever like, you know, short detail of why the symphony was made or the purpose, and that just really opens the eyes of like, oh, like that's why like the trombones are going crazy right here. That's why the trumpets are something like this. Right? And like, you know, you're saying, I mean, it really is just another type of art. But like, you know, nowadays, like sometimes it's just hard to be like, hey, let's sit down, let's listen to classical music, and they're just like, man, this is boring. But like, they're like, hey, like, you know, there's a meaning behind this.
It's painting with you're basically bringing ink on the page to life. It's painting artwork through sound, and that's what I really like about it. But yeah, a lot of people just don't get it, and it sucks. It's losing. It's kind of dying out from today's music, which is kind of sad. But I think we can help sustain the longevity of music and orchestra, because it was the first thing that happened with music, you know.
Right. And like that's what we're trying to do here. It's, you know, hey, there's emotion behind all of what we're doing. Like there's a thought process. Like it's kind of like an actor, you know, preparing itself for character. We're preparing ourselves for character, you know, and performing it. There's a lot of pieces that are very, like Dr. Atomic is by John Adams. It's based on an opera, and the opera is Dr. Atomic, and it's about how the bomb was made, and it's by John Adams. But there's Dr. Atomic Symphony. He made a shorter version of it, and you really have to know the story behind it before listening. It just sounds like a contemporary piece. It sounds very atonal at times, but like there's so many details. Like in the trombone solo, he writes in it, you have to stand up and yell as if barking orders to your soldiers as a general, and that you have to know that to be able to play it, because that means you should play a little bit with a little bit more edge, a little bit more brightness in your sound, and sound mad and be mad when you're playing it. And same with the tuba solo in it. It's Oppenheimer singing about how he's created death, like he's created the atomic bomb, and he's sad about that he's killing people because of it. It's very interesting, and if you just listen to it, you won't know that. Right. All right. Keeping going. What mistake or, you know, situation kind of showed you, or like if there's an event where you're just like, oh man, this is really what it's about, what it really means to be a musician.
What it really means to be a musician, if there was a mistake or a learning opportunity. It's a good question.
I mean, like there's just sometimes, you know, there's sometimes a specific event. There's not like a certain date that we can point out, but you know, there's like events in people's lives, like you know, a mistake or just a turning point where you're just like, man, it just opens your eyes and you're like, I get it now.
Yeah. I think NYO was that point for me. I mean, I've never connected with a piece more than Rock 2, because it's so beautiful, and the whole story about his life really encouraged me to make a story for it. But that's the first time I literally cried every single performance of that. It just melted me. I don't know. It was that's what changed my view on music. And how I make stories and paint through sound. I think that was the experience. Is performing in Carnegie Hall on that stage, sold out crowd. It was just magical. Like my whole family was there. It was beautiful. It felt great. And just connecting with the piece. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
That's what opened my eyes. Is I finally could connect with a piece and feel it, and it was just beautiful. And that's what made me be really curious. Being curious is the most important thing as a musician, is being curious, because you just have to be curious. And now I'm curious about every single piece I play. I'm always curious about the story and how you can connect to it. I know I've said that.
Would you say we should encourage a little bit more of just study it first and then have a go at it?
Oh yeah, you score study every time. Every time you play something, go over just get the score out and write things in. Mark the chords, write your tuning tendencies, but that's the technical side. But there's also the other side, which is the learning about the piece and the composer and his life before. Rachmaninoff, he wrote his first symphony. It was a total disaster, and he was depressed. He was depressed. I think he was having suicidal thoughts, and it was bad. But then he decided to take a break for 2 years or something, and then he came back and wrote the second symphony, and it is arguably one of the best things he's written. And just that musical fire in him didn't die, which is kind of inspirational, and that's what made me open my eyes about the whole music world and connecting with the music.
Let's go back to the idea of how you were talking about, painting your picture with different colors, and just tell us about your thought process. How do you, start off with a piece?
Okay, so say you're given a piece. I listen, of course. You always listen to the piece first before you even touch it. And I think you listen to a bunch of different pieces, or not pieces, but the same piece, just different variations on them. That's another thing I like about music, is the variation. It's always different. But you take that piece, and I don't really play it at first. I want to sing it, because singing through your instrument is another, that's what you're trying to do, And if you can't do that, if the musician's not right up here, it's not going to come out the horn right, or whatever you're playing, playing violin, anything. If your head is not in the right space and you don't know what you're doing, then it's not going to come out right. So singing it is very important. If you can sing it, you can play it. And you can also do things with, when I sing the piece, I automatically do things with dynamics and other things, and I really just record myself singing and then write in all the things that I'm doing. Another thing is I circle all the appoggiaturas, there's one important note, and the most important note in every single phrase, and I like circling that note. And you're always leading to the note and from the note, and that is something really important that a lot of people don't do. Just going through the whole piece, circling every single note, and then just phrasing to and from that. And then it becomes dynamics and the singing quality, the airflow. There's tons of things that you have to do, but that's why you get lessons, and you get.
So just gonna put not to interrupt you or anything, but do you think maybe, should we focus, fundamentals first and then start exploring, or should we do a mix of both?
Well, for me, my teacher, he said no excerpts until I feel good about your fundamentals, and we didn't work on excerpts for almost the whole year, because you got to get the fundamentals down. If you can get the fundamentals down, you can play anything. All the excerpts are easy if you have good fundamentals, and it sucks to work on those. It does. It sucks. Yeah. It's annoying, but you gotta find the joy and looking past that and what you're going to do after, and you don't even have to be on the horn. You can sing as well. Singing is probably very, very important too.
So I mean, it's boring, but would you encourage it to young musicians out there who are starting, just freshmen in high school, or starting up, would you encourage them to hey, focus on your fundamentals for your time starting, or
to do your fundamentals, to stay with it, you need to have that drive, and a lot of people don't have that drive, and you need to find that drive to stick with the fundamentals, because they aren't fun. They aren't. They're not very. But you got to try to make everything you play musical. And if you make everything you play musical, even your fundamentals, even scales. I play with scales of vibrato almost every time I play it. I crescendo in scales, all of that stuff. But starting out a young player on fundamentals, for me, it started with just flow studies, just flow studies and lip slurs, easy stuff. All the fundamentals should be easy. But as I started going to my freshman year of high school, I started taking lessons with more people, and my teacher started recommending me the Arbin book and other books and resources you can use to play out of. And you really just have to set the time and play out of each section just for a certain amount of time. You have to hit it every day though, because it's just consistency, and it's hard to have that in high school. It's discipline is a hard thing for me, and it's hard to find that drive. But you should always encourage younger players to be doing more fundamentals. But again, like you shouldn't only be doing fundamentals. You should have fun with what you're doing too. Like I play Rochus. They're vocalises written by Borgoni, and those are just so much fun to play for me. And they really bring the love back. Like if I'm mad and I'm messing up these fundamentals, I'm like, oh, I need to take a break. I just take a break, and then I come back and play a beautiful Rochu. It's so much fun to play, and then I'm just like, I feel so much better about what I'm doing. I'm like, this is why I do it, because it's not just playing notes. It's because it's an art form,
Yeah. All right, so let's go back. So you got your piece, you're listening to it, you sing it, and then you do your fundamentals and everything. So what's your next step?
Fundamentals are not part of learning the piece. I think they're part of just your daily routine, and they'll incorporate themselves into your playing. But what's next is, after you sing it, I like going to the piano and figuring out the chords, because of course there's a chord structure to it, and you have to find the tuning tendencies. For trombone, because it's a slide, and other instruments are just buttons and such, so you can just tune the instrument. But after that, I start playing it, of course, and it's kind of specific to trombone. I like listening everything I play at first, just to get that airflow, because that's one of the most important things when you're singing. There's no stopping the airflow. Mm-hmm. It's not like, it's not stopped, it's not separated, and that's a lot of young players do that. I do it sometimes, but you play it. You start off. If it's a lyrical section, you can just play it, and do it just like you sing, and record yourself. After you've learned it and incorporated all those things, after you've sung it, you know the piece, you know how it goes. You can sing the whole thing, then you can play the whole thing. And getting lessons with other people to give you more views on your musical ideas, because some people's musical ideas, they think it's great, but it's a little immature, but they don't know that. Like, I've had some musical ideas, of course, that don't. It's how you convey them, and if you convey them in an unclear way, it comes off as immature and that you don't know what you're doing. So you have to find a very clear way to convey your ideas, and you have to really exaggerate everything you do, so that you can stand out. And again, you don't stop listening to the recordings. Keep finding new recordings, different variations. Talk to people. Ask to play for people. Everyone has feedback, and but that's what I do. And singing is very important. That's the motto.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, how do you personally, not only, do you think it's only, you learn about the piece, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that's the only way that you personally connect with something, or is there many ways that you connect with music?
Can you clarify?
Yeah, like playing it, is there like just like a feeling that you just like, hey, I'm connecting here? Or like, how do you distinguish, like, how do you build that connection? How do you, strengthen it? How do you build off of it, right?
Yeah, things that happen in your life, you have to find this, you have to find a story for yourself in the music. Like, I have an example, let me think of one. For me, David by Ferdinand David, it's a trombone concerto, it's just called Concerto, but it's a very beautiful piece, and just the way the melody goes, and how singing it, how I'm singing it, it just invokes an emotion in me. I can't explain it. It's something about I'm making the music and it's personal to me, and it's like it's intimate, I guess, and it just kind of builds after. I mean, you know, you listen to a piece and then you're like, that was all right, and then you listen to it again, you're like, okay, it kind of grows on you, but I think that how I build my connection to music is through personal experiences, and as you go on throughout your life, you'll experience more and more and more, and you can connect with more music because you're maturing as a person and stuff like that.
Do you think there's some pieces that you just can't connect to sometimes?
Yeah, of course. There's tons of pieces I can't connect to. What is it? Prokofiev's Cello Concerto. I hate it. I don't like the piece. I just don't. I listened to it so many times, learned the story, and you know, it's just not there. Some pieces are just like that, you know.
Yeah.
And you can still like playing the piece. Like some pieces I don't really like, but I have fun playing. You know, they're fun to play. But the better pieces are the ones you can really connect to, as I said before many times. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. What makes you feel most alive when performing?
Having my loved ones watching me, or someone that I really care about, makes me feel alive when performing. In watching the crowd, like during the rest when the strings are just playing this beautiful melody, just watching people like react and just like I remember at Carnegie when I was playing Rock 2 and it was the third movement. You know, we barely played the third movement. I'm just sitting there like. I'm like fighting tears the whole time because it's just it's just like a religious experience almost. But you look in the audience and you see people crying and it's just beautiful. The conductor everyone has that emotion. It just makes like this aura of color, I guess.
Yeah.
In the orchestra, and it's really the people that make me feel alive in performing. It's the personal feeling of connecting to people you don't even know. You know, you're making someone feel a certain way. It feels good. Yeah. And you're sharing that emotion through not talking. You're not even talking. It's a way of communicating, and it's very interesting. And especially like the orchestra members. If you look at the orchestra members when they're performing something energetic or sad, I mean the string players are amazing because they can make faces and they're either smiling. Like every professional group I see, they're really into it, and they're really invested emotionally, and it's very inspiring. But yeah, that's how I feel alive.
How would you say that your playing, like, kind of shows who you are as a person?
I would say my playing is very impulsive, and when I play, I tend to do a lot of different things when I play versus when I practice. When I'm performing, there's different things that my mind works in a different way. I'm in a different headspace. But I would say impulsive is a very big thing. My vibrato, especially. When I play my vibrato, it sometimes vibrato is very artistic. You know, I don't plan vibrato. You just do it when you just feel it. And sometimes I do it and it's like really fast and it's stuff like that, and I get way too loud or something. I'm very impulsive as a player, which is good if you can control it. But I would say that relates to me as a person. I'm a very impulsive person.
Yeah. I mean, even. Like, let's take it a step further. Do you think, like, you know, if you played for someone, do you think, like, just by listening, someone would be like, oh, that person's like this, you know? Or, like, you get an idea of who someone is by just their playing?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I have a friend named Jade Park, and she's a trumpet player at Juilliard. She's from Australia, and she's really cool. I love Jade. But she started on oboe. I think she played for 10 years or something. She started when she was, like, 6. And then she switched to trumpet, and I love her trumpet playing. She's like an international soloist. She performs everywhere. But I heard her oboe playing, and it sounds exactly like her trumpet playing. Everything about it. I know. It's interesting. It's the same. It's literally the same player. Like it translates to all the other instruments, and it's very interesting to me. And that didn't really answer your question, but I would say like. I can get the vibe of someone from how they play.
I mean, even then, you said it's the same vibe. It's the same oboe or trumpet. You still, like, if you heard it, you'd be like, oh, that's her.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah, it sounds like her playing. I could tell her musical ideas are very prominent. I just know, like,
Yeah.
it's everyone's very unique in their playing, and I that's why I love orchestra music, because it never gets old. Everything is different every time, different live performance every time. Same with jazz, but
I've never heard that.
You never?
I've never heard like two people or like one person, two instruments, and they sound the same.
My mind was blown. She was like, listen to my oboe, and she played it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it literally sounds like a trumpet playing. It's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And she was like, you're right. Like she agreed.
Is that a shout out?
Yeah, Jade Park.
All right. So, next question. Do you think someone can have a great technique but a poor musicianship?
Of course. Yeah, you can just do it. You know, you can if like anyone can get good at an instrument, but it's really the musicianship that makes you stand out. I mean, like, there's a way of doing things to play, to get a note out. There's a way of doing things to tongue. There is a certain way to do it, and anybody can learn that, and anybody can do that. But it's the next step of having that musicianship, and just having that musicianship and incorporated into your playing totally changes things. Yeah. With your technique. I mean, I know people that have good technique, and I've seen them improve. Like, I remember, I'm not gonna name any names, but one of my friends, very good technique, you know, like hits all the notes, but there's no music, you know. It's just like, I'm just listening to notes. Like, I don't feel anything. It's just there.
You know, here and like other competitions, you think, you know, the competition setting kind of like breaks that connection with like musicianship and like just being, hey, like you gotta be good, you gotta perform this, right? But some people don't really think about, like, you know, they focus too much on the technical side that they don't have enough time to focus on like the emotional side.
Yeah, so like in competitions, it dulls the ability to make music because you don't want to make any risks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're nervous. Nerves change everything, you know, and they can intersect with your music making. And I mean, it happens a lot. It happens to me. But just put yourself in more of those situations, those nervous situations, so you can convey the musical ideas still. But I in competitions, the ones I've been to, I've listened to all my competitors with me, and they all sound great. You know, they have things that they need to work on, and I have things I need to work on, things that are better than me. Yeah, but it really comes down to how you practice and how you practice it. Because if you overdo it practicing, if you overdo the amount of consistency you do, like you have to play it the same way every single time, then it's probably not gonna change when you perform. I mean, it can with nerves, of course, but if you're putting yourself in those situations all the time, then you won't have as bad as nerves, and it won't change your playing as much.
I mean, you were talking about when you were a younger musician, like how you're focused on competing, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think having that mindset kind of like, you know, disturb the path for you to become more of an artist?
Yeah, I mean, music is about love and connection and bringing people together, and I think competition puts people apart, because there's healthy competition, non-healthy competition. I think I was unhealthy with my competition, but right. It definitely does. It changes it. It's like, I want to be good because I want to be good. You know, it's not because you want to connect with people, and you really have to learn that, and you have to change your mindset on that, because if you don't, it's not gonna. You're not gonna stay with it.
If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self that had that competition mindset, what would it be?
My younger self would not have listened to me, but
I mean, if he had to,
I'd probably be really hard on myself, like shut up and yeah, literally just shut up and play. But I would probably say it wouldn't even. I would probably say treat everyone with kindness. I mean, you know, like that's probably what I would say to my younger self, because that's what made me competitive. Is people would like insult me and I'd get really like, it would just flip a switch, and I'd be like, you know, very, not cocky, but like, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it. And I would just tell myself, stop being like, that's very immature, and you need to just focus on your playing, nobody else's. Focus on your love for music and your connection to other people, not the disconnection between other people.
I mean, if you could give a piece of advice to a young musician who wants to, you know, compete and have that technicality, but also be able to grow as like that artist, you know, it's hard to find or like to be put in the right path to start growing as an artist, as a musician, right? At least in my opinion, you know, it's hard sometimes to build a connection and find it and be like, oh, that's how you do it. You know, like just like with artists and paintings, just like, you know, actors and like performing, right? It's the same connection that we have, but like for me, you know, even as a young musician, you know, like we're still like in the younger side of music, right? And like I'm barely starting to get what that connection is, right? So how would you like, you know, inspire others to start connecting?
I'll inspire others to start connecting with music. I mean, I try to post on my Instagram a lot. I should post more, but I like getting, a lot of people reach out to me on Instagram and ask for feedback on how they're playing, and most of it is how they're playing, but it's not really as much as like how you're interacting with people and how you're treating people, because that's very important in the music world. But I would say, sorry, what was your question?
What advice would you give someone to start making that connection with music, especially the young musicians that are starting?
I would say play them a piece of music and ask them what they see in their minds. You know, have that spark, that creative style of thinking, and how you play, because a lot of people don't do that, and that's not, if you don't have that creative side of your playing and how you think about stuff, then you're not gonna be able to progress as a thinker and planner of your music and your love for it. And I mean, learning about the piece, big topic. Yes, just connecting with that piece, but how to connect with it, it's very personal. Some people like the Elgar Cello Concerto, and they're like, they really connect with it. I'm just like, I don't get it. It's really personal, you know. Just some pieces hit, some pieces don't.
How would you tackle a piece that doesn't connect with you?
You have to try to love it. You have to try to love it. And even if you don't love it, you have to respect it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I respect Prokofiev. Oh, I said Elgar Cello Concerto. Elgar Cello Concerto is amazing. Prokofiev Cello Concerto, not good. But I would say, sorry, I have so much brain fog. What was your question?
Just try to, you know, connect with something that you don't personally like.
Yeah, just listen to the piece. You know, sometimes it's a acquired taste, and there's tons of pieces that are acquired taste for me. And seeing it live makes a difference. I've had pieces where I don't really like, and I see it live, and I'm like, God, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And that really sparked the love for it. I mean, seeing the New York Phil, I didn't really want to see this. What was it? It was Ives too, and I don't know why I didn't want to see it, but I saw it, and it's still like I still think about it today. I mean, it was amazing, and I didn't have that connection with the piece before, but after I listened to it live and saw everybody, the whole orchestra, having the same feeling towards the product and how people react around you, it's inspiring to how you think about it's inspiring to think differently about how about the pieces you don't like.
How do you think music helps you express who you are? You know, not just, you know, like that impulsive, but, you know, sometimes playing, like you play and you just feel better. You know, how does music like just?
I mean, it's an outlet.
How to express yourself.
It's an outlet for emotion. It's just like when you're mad, you want to punch a wall, you know, and you do it, and you feel better. But you know,
now you gotta hold them.
Yeah, you gotta hold the wall. But it's how you. It's how you. Oh my gosh. So much brain fog. What was the question again? Oh my gosh.
How does music help you express yourself?
Music. Okay. How does music let me express myself? Yeah. I mean, like I remember at school I was mad. One day I was mad because I didn't get into NYO too, because I got alternate. I was really mad, and I just decided to play a piece that was really loud and really angry, like Mahler 3 trombone solo. I would just go in the FAC lobby and just blast that, and after I'd feel so much better. Like it really helped me cope with how I was feeling. When I'm sad, I play sad stuff. I listen to sad music, and it really makes me feel more secure. And I find it very therapeutic, really. And like music is very therapeutic. I mean, music helps everything, really. All the emotions. Every time I'm playing fundamentals and I get really mad because I'm missing notes or I lose the love for music, you know, in the moment, I just listen. I listen to great pieces that I love, and that's how I cope with it. But I also play things that have that similar vibe to how I'm feeling, and that it really helps me. It's like self-therapy, almost.
I mean, one of the pieces of advice that I've gotten is like sometimes the best practice is just to not practice it at all.
Oh yeah, I mean, my teacher's theology on it is never take a day off. I probably can't say this, but I take days off all the time, and I find it very beneficial. And I don't know, it coming back, I feel so much fresher. My mind is fresh. I feel so much more. I feel like I started over, like a cycle. And taking that time away is amazing. I mean, it doesn't stop me from listening. When I take time away from war, I'm constantly listening to stuff. I'm scorched. I'm singing. You're still in it. I'm still in it. Just taking a little lip break. But yeah, I think it's very important.
Okay. Who would you say are your biggest musical inspirations?
Biggest musical inspirations, like anybody, classical, anyone.
Tough question.
Yeah, I don't know why. I would say my biggest musical inspiration is probably my dad, because just he's the one who started me on everything. He pushes me to be where I'm at. You know, he did throughout middle school. He kept the love for music, and he still does. He still plays his trombone, and it's inspirational to me. And just to see him stick with it, and he knows he's not going to do it for the living. He does it for the love of it. He plays in community orchestras, and that's very inspiring to me. I mean, he might not be in an awesome orchestra or anything, but just the fact that he's not and he's still doing it is very inspirational to me. I mean, Devin Drennan is very inspirational to me too. He was he helped me through a bunch and listened to me all the time in high school and such. And I would always look up to those people that were above me and more mature, and I would love to get feedback from them all the time. And yeah. I mean, there's also composers I look up to. Rachmaninoff, probably one of my favorite composers, just because of his story. Same as Mahler. Like, Mahler's story is very sad, and all his symphonies are about his life. Like his Fifth Symphony is about love. It's about his happiest time of his life. It was when he had both of his daughters and his wife. And then his wife cheated on him, and both of his daughters died, or one of them died. And then he wrote like all the really like philosophical, depressing, like distant, spacey type music, and you could just see it through his timeline and progress. And it's very interesting and very, very inspirational too, to see how they stick with it, you know, through all the hard times. They use it as a outlet, you know.
And let's do a little side question. What are your top five composers?
Top 5 composers. see, there's Tchaikovsky is one of my favorite composers too. He's I'd probably rank it Rachmaninoff.
Okay. At 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tchaikovsky too.
Okay.
Tchaikovsky's just amazing. I love his music.
Yeah.
Probably Shostakovich is my third one. There's some, I mean, you always know him as like the dun 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 dun, like, you know, the very fast and stuff. But he writes his piano concerto. His piano concertos are beautiful. Like you don't expect Shostakovich to write like that. And it's really interesting, and I love that about him. Wagner, ooh, that might be third. I don't know. Wagner is amazing. He wrote so much music, so much, and all of his operas are so different. Like, you listen to Die Meistersinger, and it has like this beautiful melody, and it's very straightforward, I'd say. But you got Tristan and Isolde, and it's very spacey again. It's very abstract, and that is probably my favorite opera is Tristan, because it's basically about these two people, Tristan and Isolde, and they fall in love because she tried to kill him because he was like an op to the whole kingdom, and she tried to kill him with a potion, but it was actually a love potion, and they fell madly in love, and they were like, it's a 5-hour opera, and it does not resolve until the last scene. Like, the whole opera is all atonal and not, it does not resolve. There's a whole chord for it. It's called the Tristan chord. It's a certain, there's so many in there. It's so good. But probably fourth would probably be Mahler. Mahler's awesome. Amazing low brass. I mean, I don't pick the composers based on how much low brass they put in. I mean, I love Haydn too, but he doesn't really write for that much for low brass, or even Brahms. I mean, there's a lot of Brahms symphonies, but piano concerto, there's not really brass in it, and I love that. So it's probably, one was Rachmaninoff, second was Tchaikovsky, third was Mahler, fourth is Wagner, fifth, I would say, Elgar. His life was so interesting. Everything about him was very interesting, and his whole Elgar Enigma variation is such an interesting piece. It's like a puzzle. People were trying to figure out stuff about it. You should read on it. It's really interesting. And then the Elgar Cello Concerto is just so good. It's so beautiful. But yeah, I'd say those are my top 5 composers. But they're all so different too.
Yeah. All right. Okay. How do you think social media and modern music, did it really change your perspective on how we should focus on music?
Social media?
And even then, like the rise of contemporary music and abstract?
I don't like contemporary music. That's my least favorite musical time period is now. But there's some people out there who write some cool stuff. But what was the question?
So how does social media?
Social media. Okay, social media, I mean, I got into social media when I was probably Instagram. I created a trombone account. It was pretty cringy at first because, you're like, it's just kind of cringe to start off. You have like 2 followers and you're just like posting videos you playing. And I think it's another outlet for sharing your ideas and you can get feedback on social media. Nobody really critiques me on social media. It is usually only if I ask for it. But it's also, I think social media is very good for connecting all these musicians together and collabing on certain things. Mm-hmm. And social media is great, I think. I mean, there's also some downsides to it. I mean, always having those connections with those people, like constantly always having access to talk to them is sometimes not good. But that's why I miss the 80s. I never lived in the 80s, so I don't miss it. But but I think social media is very, very, very good for music. It's getting it out there more. I mean, like I think it's fun to put things together and record acapellas of myself and posting it and editing it and making it sound really good. I think that's and sharing it online for people to see and like and comment. I mean, it's fun. It's very fun when you get up there, you know.
All right, this might also be a tough question, but who do you think shows musicianship and connection the best from anyone that you know?
Anybody that I know who shows who's the best musician, basically.
Another tough question.
Yeah, I mean, it's I gotta answer accurately.
I mean, it can be someone that you don't know, like, directly. Like, if you see them perform, like...
I would say, who do I know who I'm thinking of. I'm always just in awe. This is a really tough question. I need to think about this stuff more. Who's like who conveys music the best to me?
We can go back to it if you like.
Yeah, let's go back to it. I gotta think about that. That's.
How would you say your story, you know, your background, how does it shape you, you know, challenging and pushing through music?
I think that my background, you know, it had a big impact on who I am today. You know, I mean, so is everyone's background. But I'd like to say that how it shaped me as a musician, probably it was from in high school, you know, just making those mistakes. You know, I mean, some people don't make many mistakes and because they're just perfect, you know. But some people make a lot of mistakes and do stupid stuff, and you really, it's how you recover from that and how you move on past that, and how you change, how we can learn from it. And it could be how you treat someone, it could be how you interact in a situation, it could be other things, how to act mature. It's really just about maturity. But how I think that it progressed me as a musician is just how I interact with people changed a lot. I think in going to Juilliard, I starting fresh, you know, it's great to start fresh and start as a whole new person. I've been hanging out with a lot of older people. I mean, most of the people I hang out with at Juilliard are 23, 22, 24, and I think that who you surround yourself with really impacts you as a person and what you need to be doing right, and because they'll correct you and stuff. Everyone wants the best for you, you know.
Would you say that, like, there's a specific, you know, way where, like, growing up here, you started to grow your, like, technique here, and then you went over there and just like, hey, I've never heard that before, like, or like when you went to Juilliard, right? Mm-hmm. And you surround yourself with other players, was there any, like, how would you say, would you hear comments from the other people and be like, oh, like, Michael does this because of his background? Or would you say, is there any connection that way?
Like what do you mean, like how I play?
Yeah, like if you played a certain, like, piece, right, and there were people listening, and they would tell you, I could tell that's you playing because of this detail. And would you say, could you pinpoint that detail to your past or your experiences?
Yeah, I mean, usually there's how you connect with music. I mean, you can really go deep in it, like rock too.
Get into it.
The lore.
Yeah, yeah.
But other pieces, you know just the vibe of the piece, and you just gotta live in that emotion. And I mean, for other people recognizing how I play, it's more about the characteristics of my tone and and articulation and
Yeah.
tendencies and stuff like that. They know that I'm the player, not the musical ideas. My vibrato, I think that would set apart. But other people I listen to, all of my friends at Juilliard, the trombone players, I can name when they play. I can name who it is. I mean, they all sound freaking awesome. But I can just tell, you know, it's through their tone, through like how dark or bright it is, how much like how airy their sound is. Not that that's a bad or good thing, you know. It can change, and the color is a big thing. And just honestly, the musicality, like, is different from person to person. Some people don't use any vibrato, and that's fine. Some people use a little vibrato, and that's fine too. Use whatever you want. But people who don't use that vibrato, I was surprised, because I actually really enjoyed listening to them play, because they're phrasing without it, and it's weird to hear someone phrase without vibrato, but it's honestly really interesting when I got there to hear people just phrase the notes and not without any extra glam and stuff. It's just the core of the music, you know, and that's something I thought about at Juilliard too. But there's a lot of things.
Yeah. All right. Could you share with us a moment, like rock? Is that the moment where you're just like, man, this is what it means to be a musician?
Yeah, like I was just in my head, I was like, this is what it feels like to. I want to do this the rest of my freaking life, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you get paid to express emotions. Come on, that's the dream job. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean.
Is there any other moment that you felt like that?
Probably at TMEA, my second year, when we played Bartok Concerto for Orchestra. That felt like redemption. Felt amazing. Playing in front of all the whole orchestra, sitting first again, it was really fulfilling for me. But there was something that changed about it. It was less competitive. My second year, I think I was more focused on how I was playing and how I was connecting the music, rather than I want to beat everyone. You know, like,
yeah,
that's so shallow.
Any other
performances?
Yeah.
Juilliard had a couple performances. I performed they have this concert at Juilliard, it's called the Celebration Concert, and I got put on it with Kimmy Nelson. She's pretty famous on Instagram. And David was the tuba player, and Lin Wei was the bass trombone. And we were sitting backstage, like, just warming up, like, for the concert, because we were about to play, and Juilliard invites all their major donors, like, and there's so many rich people, like Bruce Kovner's there, he's like $9 billion net worth and stuff like that. All the donors are there, and we're like warming up, and then Yo-Yo Ma just like pulls up, and just like everybody goes silent, and we're just like, and he's just there, and he's like, hello everybody, and it's just like, oh my gosh. and just knowing that people like that are in the audience listening to you, like, it's just, it changes the game. It changes the game. It changes. It's I don't know. It's amazing. But it was that we played John Williams, and I mean, every time I perform at Carnegie with my family there, it means something special to me. I mean, it's different when people you love are in the crowd and you're sharing that with them. That's something, and also the support of all your friends, knowing that you have people who support you in the crowd, and that they all want the best for you, and that, like, every Juilliard concert, when we're done, everybody's in the lobby, and every time we walk out, everyone's clapping for you, and like it just never ends, and it's amazing. Yeah. And it feels very good. And almost every performance feels like that now after NYO. It's just different. It's just a different feeling.
Let's go back to, who do you think is the best musician?
The best musician. I would have to say, in my opinion, probably, I would have to say, oh my gosh. Long song. You gotta do the SpongeBob thing, like 15 minutes later. I would have to say it's a singer. Probably. It was. I know his name. I know who I'm talking to. I gotta look it up, I think. But yeah, it's. Oh wait, no, I know. Usual Wang. Usual Wang. My favorite musician. That's for sure. Piano is one of my favorite instruments. Oboe, piano, horn.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate oboe.
You hate oboe?
I don't like it.
I love oboe. I love oboe. I love the tone. Like if you get a good oboe player, so singing and I don't know. And they also have a lot of rep, same as horn. Trombone doesn't have that much rep. But Yuja Wang is probably my favorite musician.
Like specific, just like the way she performs and
I mean, it's just jaw dropping. Every single time I see her, I was just like, oh my god. Like just
right.
All the music, she's into it. Like especially when she's conducting the orchestra. Like she's playing like solo with the orchestra and she's conducting while she's playing. That's just awesome. And it's just crazy how she gets that done. And I would say she's one of my favorite composers. And also like every time I see an opera, just the singers are just amazing. Like you have to mimic your playing off of singing. That's just learning how to sing through the instrument with no tension is the end goal. But Yuja Wang, I don't know what it about her. It's just every time I see her perform, it's like, oh my gosh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can wrap up those questions. There's a lot to take from it. There's thank you so much for telling us about your connection, how you connect with everything. I think it's really great advice and a great opportunity for younger musicians to start their own journey on how they could start to connect with music. How can they start building that emotional connection? And it's about experiences, and sometimes it's tough because you want to improve, but sometimes you can't move, right? And sometimes just sit still and just like think about it and just wait, and it'll come to you.
Yeah.
So now, you prepared something for us to listen to.
Yes, I did.
And yeah, we'll have a listen. We're here now. Michael prepared something for us to listen to. Go ahead.
I have. So this piece is the Larsen Trombone Concerto. He's a Swedish composer, and he wrote it for trombone and string orchestra. His whole thing was like writing a concerto for every single instrument. But I love this piece because it kind of has the same theme throughout the whole piece, and it's very playful. I'm going to play the third movement and then just the last page of it, and then I'm going to play a little bit of the second movement to show you the slow side of things. But yeah, this is the Larsen Trombone Concerto. I love that piece. It's so much fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, it just sounds like playful, energetic.
So,
yeah. Why choose it? Why this part? Why this chunk of it?
I chose this part because I think it really can demonstrate a lot about your playing. Like, you can play very loud and it's very diverse. That's what I wanted. That's why I played it. There's fast stuff, and but there's some more lyrical stuff in there too, like the like that. It's like a different side of things, and I like how he switches between the two.
I mean, I could just see you connect immediately with it. You found like one phrase where you're like, man, I enjoy that phrase, and I could tell.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like here, like that's what I like, and like honestly, just amazing playing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, you got any other details about it?
What sucks about Larsen is he doesn't have much like depth to his music. It's just he writes for fun, I think, but it has this extra layer to it. It's like an onion. Call me Shrek. But it has this, like, as in the second movement, it takes another approach to a similar melody. But I'm gonna play just a little portion. I'm gonna start from the middle. Yeah. Yeah, I love this second movement because it's just kind of eerie, you know. It's a little like confusing at times, and just the string orchestra. It's very interesting with the accompaniment. I love the little small string orchestra it has in the background because it's not a big orchestra or anything. Like it's light and playful. This isn't light and playful. This is very dark, and I do have something funny to say about it. My pianist, when we played this, I was in a lesson with Alessi, and we have to have our pianist in with us, and because I did this for my jury, and I hear my pianist breathing really heavy at the beginning, like he's like, and it's like just shows so much emotion. And I remember Joe Alessi was talking to me about that, like music is breathing, and it really inspired me. Just like learning that, like breathing. I mean, I can't do that because I'm playing, but I don't know. That's just another interesting part of how different instruments.
I mean, he was able to connect with it, and you know, hearing again, like I could definitely feel the spots where you're just like this is the part where like there's this emotion. I can feel it, right? But sometimes it's hard because like you feel it, and like you can't explain it to someone else though. Like you can just like kind of feel it, and then you're like, if you get it, you get it. You're right.
Yeah. You gotta understand. You know, you gotta have, I guess, mature ears.
Yeah. So what was your like kind of building process of this piece? You know, like you said it was for your jury, right?
Yeah.
You know, how'd you kind of tackle it to begin with? Just
I listened to it a million times because it is a very complex piece. It's very like syncopated. I mean, with the string orchestra, you're not with it at all.
Yeah.
Like in the third movement, when I'm like dum digga dum digga dum digga dum digga dum digga dum, it's like the orchestra is going dum digga dum digga dum digga dum digga dum. It's like constant, and it's like it's really confusing at times.
Yeah.
But you know, just taking it slow, just trying to understand the piece, slowing it down, singing it. I mean, I sat at the piano and learned this whole thing singing, and I had to do it for my teacher. And yeah, it's very important to know where you're phrasing to. You know, you got to know where the piece is leading, what note it's going to. You have to know what note is the most important. And if you don't, then you're not going to be able to phrase. You know, and to have that thing that you're just like, I don't know, you can't explain it. You know, you're just like, you know what the piece is about by listening because it's just how you perform it. It's very important. Because if you're not phrasing correctly and you're not doing what's natural, then but sometimes you don't know what's natural, and you gotta take lessons and stuff like that.
Or
but
get a different perspective.
Yeah.
Or just like
everyone has a different perspective.
Listen to this for a second. You know. Definitely helps a lot. Just be like, hey, what does this remind you of? Or
Yeah.
like, what does this make you think of?
Just making them think is very important.
I mean, sounds great to me.
Yeah.
I think, Michael wanted to add, you know, a problem or a struggle that we all have, especially, you know, over time playing your instrument for a long time. And it's about, you know, sometimes how do we deal with like the loss of the love for the music?
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced it. Going to school, it's all work, and usually when you do something for work, you don't like it. And you gotta. That's the hard thing about music is most people are just like, it's music, you just love it, but it's not. It's hard. You gotta set yourself apart from other people, and sometimes with that comes, like just not feeling like you're good enough, like that imposter syndrome. I experienced so much of that, and like my first year, I was like, I don't belong here. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve to be here. But I mean, they literally have classes on that for there. It's because a lot of people there experience that. Everyone's just so good, and that made me like just not really enjoying classical music anymore. I halfway through the year, I was just kind of feeling hopeless, but I got pushed by my friend to go see this Czech 4, and it just, it sparked it back up. I was like, I practiced right after that. I went, after that performance, I went back into the school at 10:30 p.m. and I just played like Leve songs in like one of the big halls, and it was just fun, I just doing it for fun, and it's all about that. It's all about having fun and keeping the love for it, and it's very important and very easy to lose the love for it. Yeah.
I mean, you're an incredible performer.
Thank you.
Incredible musician. And I really appreciate all the feedback that you've given us, all the ideas to give off of it. I think like what we could take away from this is just like music is like breathing, like your lesson teacher says.
It's natural.
It's natural. It's just, it'll come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So to end it off, my question to you is, what is musicianship?
I would say musicianship is a topic that is divided into a bunch of categories. Emotion, how you feel, how the audience feels, kind of ties into emotion. Also singing. Singing is such a big word. I mean, if you can sing it, you can play it. And that has taught me so much, because when I first started, I wasn't singing. I mean, I thought singing was stupid, but I sucked at it. And my teacher would always say, like, don't even play your trombone, just learn the piece. You learn it. Because you might be playing it right, but you don't have the musician's mind. Like, you're not in it. You're not in the game yet. You don't understand. You're clueless. He called me green, and that means you don't know jack. You don't know anything. It means you're so green, and that's what I was. But musicianship, it's kind of my biggest problem is, for me, like, I see all my friends going to colleges and universities, and it's such a linear path, I'd say. Get the degree, get the grade, get the degree, you probably get a job. Music is not like that. I mean, you can get the degree. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you got the degree. Now go win the job. Don't win a job, you're screwed. And it's like you can put so much effort to it and it not work out, and it's just very scary. But that's musicianship. That's something you just have to figure out. You have to figure out how to convey your emotions through it. It's just like talking. You can just put yourself around people that can do it, so that you can start encompassing that way of thinking and all of their methods and stuff. And that's really changed my mindset on it. It's kind of like a magic. Musicianship is like this like mystic god kind of, like you can't you can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it,
Yeah.
I guess if you're religious, but you can feel it. It's a presence, it's an aura, and just understanding that is so hard. That's why there's like, if you think about it, of course there's schools for music, but like to anyone, like going to school for music, like come on, like most people are just like, what the heck? Why are you doing that? But it's like figuring something out like that is really hard, and it put a lot of stress on me as a player. Like seeing my friends go to universities and stuff, and they come home for summer and they're like, yeah, let's go play pickleball all day and go to Sonic and hang out 24/7 and do stupid stuff. And I'm like, I gotta practice, man. Like I gotta go to the gym. I gotta practice. You can't stop. You can't stop. It's a constant grind for what you want, and that's why that's what you gotta have musicianship. I mean, that's what you're striving for, is that perfection in musicianship. And as I said, putting yourself around people that have that skill and that have that understanding of it. Like my teacher, he does it so easily. He just picks up the horn and just does it, and it's like, holy crap. Like I wish I could do that. But I mean, you hear it. It's the same. You hear it. You can play it back. Just like you hear someone say something, you can say it back. Kind of like that.
And that's what makes us artists. That's what makes music and art.
Yeah.
Right?
Some people can't hear it. Some people are just like Joe plays stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I have no clue. Like, what are you doing? It sounds different. It sounds better, but I don't know what you're doing. And he breaks it down to the simplest details, and most of it's like, just don't stop your arrow. Because I would always hear players older than me, and there's one thing that would separate them from how I played and everyone else. It's just how long their notes are, how singing they are through the horn. Xander Bird, when he was our student teacher, I was just like, I'm like, every time I heard him play, it just sounds so singing, and I'm just like, I want that. And put yourself around people who can do that, and you just learn how to do it. It's like, yeah, it's very hard though.
It's a difficult concept.
Yeah, it's literally a mystic god.
It's something else. Yeah. Well, that wraps it up here. Thank you, Michael, for coming on to Conversation with Music and sharing all his ideas, experiences, and I hope to see you next time. That was a Conversation with Music.